Something has been pulling at you since you woke up this morning. A restlessness you cannot name, a quiet urgency behind everything you do, like your mind is already reaching towards something just out of sight. You tell yourself it is just a busy week, a lot on your plate, maybe you did not sleep deeply enough, but here is what is actually happening. Right now, at this very moment, the sun is aligning with Rigel, one of the most powerful fixed stars in the sky, a star ancient astronomers linked to genius, ambition, and meteoric rise. This alignment peaks today, and it has not carried this particular intensity in nearly a decade. Thousands of people are feeling this same pull without understanding it. And there is one specific thing about this Sun-Rigel contact that almost no one is talking about. On a precise level, the peak of this event lands today at 12 p.m. UTC, when the Sun forms an exact conjunction with Rigel at the same celestial longitude. The Sun here represents conscious will, identity, the central organizing force in your chart, and in the sky it is dignified simply by being the light of the day, the principle of visibility and recognition. Rigel, a blue supergiant in the constellation of Orion, is historically associated with mastery in technical fields, strategic intelligence, and rapid advancement through merit. The aspect is a conjunction, meaning the Sun and Rigel are fused, their meanings inseparable, and you feel this as a surge of focused drive. What makes this configuration so potent today is that no major outer planet is diluting or distorting the signal. The beam is clean. You are standing under a spotlight that does not scatter. Ambition becomes specific. Skills crystallize. The part of you that wants to build, engineer, solve, or lead is being pulled into sharp relief right now, in real time. Stay with me until the end, because by the final minutes of this video, you will not just understand this alignment in theory, you will know exactly where in your life to aim it and how to avoid the single mistake that wastes it for most people. So do not skip ahead. Let this unfold with you in sequence. Gemini, Sagittarius, and Pisces are standing closest to this beam, but Virgo, Aquarius, and Libra are strongly sensitized through supportive angles as well. So each of these 6 signs will get a focused, concrete breakdown later in this video about where your swift rise wants to happen and what practical moves match the sky you are living under today. Right now, that internal hum you feel can show up in very physical ways. You may notice your breathing is a bit higher in your chest, sleep slightly lighter, your mind jumping ahead to plans and what-ifs before you have even finished your morning routine. For some of you, this comes as clean excitement, like the night before a big presentation you know you are ready for. For others, it lands as agitation, a sense that something is off or that you are behind without knowing on what. Both experiences are valid. Both mean you are tuned to the event. The only real danger is pretending nothing is happening and letting this current ricochet around your nervous system without a direction. Stop. Feel that pulse? That is the transit activating in you. Look back for a moment to the days around 2 weeks ago. During that stretch, it likely felt as if you were hitting a wall in one specific area. Stalled negotiations, delayed approvals, projects hovering in limbo, or a technical issue that would not resolve no matter how many times you revisited it. Conversations may have gone in circles. You might have questioned your competence, your timing, or whether the path you chose still made sense. What was actually happening then was compression. Your efforts, ideas, and frustrations were being packed tighter, like steam trapped in a sealed container. That pressure was not punishment. It was necessary so that when the Sun finally locked into Rigel today, the stored force behind your decisions would be strong enough to launch you forward. The container is reaching capacity now. The lid is ready to blow in a direction you can choose. And here is where the energy shifts. Gemini, your moment has arrived. You have been living with mental overdrive for months now, juggling conversations, information, and responsibilities, while quietly wondering when all this thinking and talking would convert into something solid. Today, the spotlight is directly on your sign. This Sun-Rigel alignment electrifies your first house of self, your body, your identity, the way you move through the world. The restlessness in you is not random. It is your system registering that the gear has changed and you are suddenly in a lane built for acceleration. Recently, you may have felt scattered, pulled in too many directions, or doubting which version of yourself to commit to. One foot in old roles, one foot in newer ambitions, and a nagging sense that time is slipping. Perhaps people projected their confusion onto you, calling you inconsistent or unfocused, when the truth is that you were testing multiple trajectories because none of them quite locked in. You carried ideas that felt ahead of your environment, and at times you may have wondered if you were imagining the future or misreading the present. Today, that changes. With the sun on Rigel illuminating your first house, your technical skills, strategic thinking, and capacity for rapid learning become the sharp edge of your presence. If you work in anything involving systems, data, technology, engineering, logistics, research, or even complex negotiations, this is the day your competence can no longer hide. Meetings, calls, or chance introductions now carry disproportionate weight. Someone with authority can finally see what you have been refining in the background. In Hellenistic astrology, when water triplicity events are triggered at night, Mars is recognized as the master of that triplicity, not the moon. So if your work touches emotional or psychological terrains, the combative intensity you feel is not oversensitivity. It is the appropriate edge that pushes you to act rather than over-reflect. Externally, this can look like a sudden offer, a promotion conversation, an invitation to lead a project, or a request for your expertise in a visible forum. Old colleagues may resurface with concrete propositions. A brief email you send today can open doors months from now because of who happens to read it under this sky. Even in personal life, you may notice people turning to you for solutions rather than just chit-chat, sensing that you are carrying a new authority. Your words land differently, your proposals stick. Internally, the deeper shift is that your self-concept catches up with your actual ability. You stop treating your intelligence as something provisional and start owning it as structural. The doubts do not disappear, but they no longer run the show. You recognize that speed and curiosity are not flaws to tame, they are your competitive advantage when used deliberately. This is your emergence from rehearsal into performance. This is your breakthrough. And here is where the energy shifts again. Sagittarius, your horizon is being redrawn. You have sensed, for months now, that your current map of life is too small, that the routines or roles you occupy no longer match the size of your questions. This Sun-Rigel contact lights up your seventh house of partnerships, contracts, and the people who stand opposite you in life. The urgency you are feeling is about who is walking beside you and who is not. Recently, you may have bumped into limits in collaboration. Deals dragged, alliances felt lopsided, or a partner's caution clashed with your instinct to expand. Misunderstandings around commitments may have left you wondering whether to double down or walk away. In some cases, someone else's delay forced you to confront how much of your momentum you had outsourced to them. The frustration there was not pointless. It was clarifying your standards for being met as an equal. Now, with Rigel amplifying the sun in this sector, gifted, technically capable people can enter your field quickly, and existing relationships can suddenly professionalize. You may meet someone whose expertise complements yours so precisely that together you can tackle projects that seemed impossible alone. If you are married or in a long-term partnership, negotiations around money, roles, or long-range planning can take a decisive turn. Contracts signed under this sky, especially those involving specialized knowledge or international links, can accelerate your trajectory more than you expect. Internally, the transformation is about how you hold commitment. Take a sober look at the unglamorous supports you need: updated resumes or portfolios, clarified budgets, realistic schedules, or simple systems for tracking tasks and commitments. Spend part of this day tightening those bolts so that when opportunity responds, you do not drop it through small, avoidable cracks. This is not busy work. It is the scaffolding that keeps rapid growth from collapsing under its own weight. Third, expect resistance and move through it deliberately. When you align with a transit this strong, friction does not mean you are off path. It often means you are exactly on it. A delayed reply, a skeptical colleague, or a moment of personal doubt is not a stop sign. It is a test of coherence. Before backing away, pause and ask, is this resistance revealing a genuine flaw in my plan, or just the discomfort of stepping out of my previous limits? Adjust where needed, but keep walking forward. And finally, keep your ego in check by staying in dialogue with reality. Seek feedback from grounded people who understand your field, not just those who will cheerlead. When praise or sudden attention arrives, receive it, but tie your identity to the quality of your process, not the volume of applause. Remember that you are not your latest win, and you are not your latest setback. Under this sky, humility is not self-erasure. It is the discipline that keeps your ambition sharp and your relationships intact as you rise. In the broader arc, this Sun-Rigel alignment is one portal in a sequence, not an isolated firework. Think of today as a door that swings wide for a brief period, letting you step from preparation into visible motion. Between June 10 and June 12, another shift in the sky will test how you use this opening. Recognition arrives fast, your courage earns real honors. Reckless speed triggers accidents and sudden public embarrassment. It is binary. There is no in-between. What determines which side you land on is whether you act boldly without rushing past critical safety checks. I give you the precise mechanic in the next video. What you felt at the start of this video was not coincidence. The sun, standing directly aligned with Rigel, one of the brightest and most ancient stars in the sky, is live right now, pouring its energy of ambition and brilliant, accelerated achievement into our world. For Gemini especially, this is the window. The door is open today. This alignment does not simply inspire, it activates. The mind sharpens, the vision clarifies, and the path toward your highest ambitions becomes suddenly, unmistakably visible. So let this moment anchor in you, not as something that happened, but as something you recognized in time. The stars do not wait, but today you were paying attention. With the sun aligning with Rigel right now, ambition and technical genius are amplified to their peak. Tell me in the comments, are you feeling that sudden clarity or drive today, especially if you're a Gemini? Subscribe if you want to know exactly when the sky is aligned in your favor, week after week. Tomorrow, we explore which planetary shift redirects the momentum you're building today.